And we're back once again. Yeah, it's me, Greg, aka Crazy G, with NECR New England Concert Reviews. As always, we have another fantastic artist today. He is associated with the Greg Kihn Band, and he is none other than the man himself, Mr. Greg Kihn. Hello, welcome, and thanks for taking the time to speak with us here at NECR. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and I just wanted to point out all Gregs are brothers, you know?
Hey, I'm down with that, man. That's totally cool.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, I'm super happy to be on the show, and thanks for having me.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure. You know, I go way back with you and your music, but we'll get into that. Let's get right into getting our feet wet here. Greg Kihn recently has come out with a new CD called ReKihndled. How did it feel to get back in the mix again, and what would you like to tell us about this CD?
Well, it really felt super good to be back in the studio again. You know, it's been over 10 years since I had a new studio album and new material on it. So, you know, I was on the radio for about 18 years doing the morning show on K-Fox in San Francisco. And, I was really, when you're doing that morning show, you're just too pooped to do anything else but get up at 4 in the morning. So, finally, they cut me loose, and I had nothing but time on my hands. So I called up the band, and I said, let's go back into the studio and do another record. And I had added some new guys to my band. And my son, ReKihndled, is now on the lead guitar, and he's fantastic. He was a former student of Joe Satriani's, and he graduated from Berklee School of Music in Boston, so he's pretty good on the guitar. And then we got Robert Berry on the bass, and Robert's not only a great bass player, but he's also the producer of the Greg Kihn Band, and he produced the new album. And then we got a new drummer, a guy by the name of Dave Lauser, comes to me from Sammy Hagar's band, and he is unbelievable, just a great drummer. So there you have it, 4 men against the world, and it feels really good to be out there again, let me tell you.
That's awesome, man, and I'm glad to hear that. ReKihndled seems to encompass all of Greg Kihn's rock and roll style, sound, and attitude. None more than the track Tell Me Something Good. This track is wicked funky, groovy, and totally fun. What would you like to tell us about this song?
You know, we were messing around. We did a lot of playing around in the studio. You know, before we write a song, we jam, and we were jamming. Believe it or not, we were jamming Jeopardy, and that had a similar beat to Jeopardy. I said, hey, let's try that. Now, I tried the other music to Tell Me Something Good, and it worked perfectly, because I'm kind of semi-saying it. I'm not really singing it. I'm singing, I'm kind of chanting it. And, it's kind of a it's like something that's topical that doesn't hit you 100% the first time. You got to hear it 2 or 3 times. And it was really a lot of fun doing that one. You know, you're talking about songs that are really fun to play, fun to record, and a lot of fun to write. So getting in the studio, it was all fun, man. I can't think of one song that was a pain in the butt. They just came really, really easy to me.
That's nice. That's super awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, your voice, it seems to have gotten so much stronger. I don't know what it was.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what happened, but, maybe it was not singing for a couple of years, but whatever it did, it really works. I go out now and I'm singing, every song probably better than I ever sang it before. But, hey, look, it's nice to be out where people can see you. You're playing a gig. You're playing in front of people. We got gigs all over the country now, and, we're hitting the road this summer, and it's just a lot of fun, man.
There's another great track. Pink Flamingos is a really great song that one can really dig. It is another excellent and super hip track. What was going through your mind with the process for this track?
Well, it's interesting you point that one. That was the first song that we cut for the new album. And I was talking to my son, and I said, I'd really like to come up with a song that's like Oh Well by Fleetwood Mac, where, you're playing and then you stop and then you sing and then you stop and then you play. And he goes, oh, I know what you mean, Dad, like Black Dog. by Led Zeppelin. And I said, right, that's exactly what I was driving at. You know, he says, okay. He goes home, does his homework, comes back the next day. He's got the riff that was going to be called Big Pink Flamingos. And he starts playing the riff to me, and I swear to God, out of the clear blue sky, without any provocation, I just started singing Big Pink Flamingos. like it was in the air in front of me, and I just reached out and grabbed it. And, you know, I wrote that song. Once I got the Big Pink Flamingos part down, I wrote that song in about 15 minutes. And you know what it was? It was visualizing the girl, the trailer trash girl. You know, once I got her in my mind, you know, chewing gum, she got the, you know, hair up in curlers, the stretch pants, that trailer trash kind of looking woman. Once I did that, it was all easy. It's fun because, you know, we were having fun doing the album. We weren't taking things super seriously. And we really, that was our first cut on the album, and it kind of set the pace. All the other cuts were kind of like that. We farmed them the same way, basically.
I have to say, this CD is very well rounded. You're very versatile with your song style and song theme. You get a little of everything with ReKihndled. I Wrote the Book is another stellar track, and it has a serious edge to it. How did that song materialize?
You know, I remember coming into the studio with a half-completed idea of I Wrote the Book. And because I am an author and I do write some books, so like one day I was in the studio of my son Rye saying, what are you writing here, Dad? What is this? You're writing the song about I Wrote the Book? Well, yeah. When it comes to, you know, rock and roll, I kind of did write the book, you know? And it was a lot more, I think it just more easy and more in the groove when I did it like that, you know? We started coming up with the song, and the damn thing wrote itself. I swear to God, man, Craig, I don't know where they come from, I don't know where they go, but I'm real happy that they hang around for a few minutes so I can write them down.
I know that feeling too, trust me.
Yeah, you know, and it's you figure, hey, I'm really on the cusp of something great here. All I got to do is finish this song, and you know, a lot of times that's when it turns to poop right in your hand. Oh, jeez. But you know, I loved working with the new guys in the band, especially my son Rye. And you know, we come up with these ideas. So much of it was improvisational, right there on the spot in the studio. So it was a lot of fun.
There are so many, and I'm being totally honest with you, there are so many great songs off this CD from top to bottom. My favorite off of ReKihndled is Trained Monkey. You could associate...
Oh, that's one of mine too, man. That's a great song.
I was going to say, you could associate many things with the lyrics. That's besides the point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess you just answered the question. What is your favorite off this CD and why?
I love that one. I love the guitar riff. Me and Rye really had a lot of fun recording that one. I kept changing the lyrics. You know, I had this thing about, I'm not no trained monkey. You know, that's what the guy sang in the song. And, you know, it felt like the more he tried to say, the more harder it got to say. So it was really, when that song was finished, it was like somebody else wrote it. You know what I mean? It's like, did I write that? That just, it came out of left field. And, you know, most of the songs on the new album did come out of left field. That's why I love them so much.
And that's great, man. To hear your enthusiasm about how much you love your stuff is just really amazing.
You know, the amazing part is over the years, you know, because I've been in this thing. My first album was like in 75, I think. So I look back on all these albums. I mean, we made a ton of albums, and I got them all back. Over the years, whenever they got for sale, I would pop up and buy them. It's like when the Berserkly Chartbusters and all the Berserkly records was up for sale, and Sanctuary was going to buy them. I showed up, wrote a check, and bought them all back, which is real rare because usually, you know, guys like me don't have the dough, especially 10 or 20 years later. But this time I had the money, I wrote the check, and now here it is all these years later. I own my entire catalog, and you can buy it all. I've reissued all of it through the GregKihn.com website with the original covers and everything. So you can get all of that. Plus we got a new Best of Berserkly CD CD also that's out. So you can buy it all at GregKihn.com. It's and plus everything else Greg Kihn is good there.
That's outstanding, man. It really is, and very happy. And you're so correct on the, trying to buy your own material back. I mean,
and then it was really great because a couple of years ago, the Sopranos called me up. They wanted to use Jeopardy on the show, and I got all these movie offers just started rolling in. And the fact that I was the guy, I didn't have to turn around and get permission. I just said, yeah, I'd like to do that. Boom, and I signed the contract, and that was the end of it.
Oh, that's so great, man. Very happy for you for that. At least it didn't turn out like the Beatles. So.
Oh, that was a real good lesson because remember, it was a Friday afternoon, and Paul McCartney had the money, and all he had to do was go down to the bank on Monday morning and write a check for Northern Songs. And Michael Jackson beat him down the bank, got to the bank first, and bought it, I think, on a Saturday when the bank was semi-closed. And, that extra day cost the Beatles their catalog.
Wow.
And millions of dollars at the same time. So, and the thing about it was Michael Jackson told Paul that he was going to do that. And I guess Paul didn't believe him or didn't think about it. And, when Monday rolled around, there was a couple of pissed off unhappy campers, I should say.
Right. No, and it was a shame for their catalog. But again, I'm glad you got yours back. And look, you're doing great things with it. This next question is a little long, so bear with me.
Okay.
We're going to touch upon everything. Well, not everything, but quite a few things you've done. You have done so much and continue to do so much. As you stated, you're an author. You've written screenplays, novels, and some short stories. You've had 2 famous hits that will never be forgotten. You were/are a DJ as well. And of course, not to mention some of the bands you have toured with and the TV appearances like Saturday Night Live. Greg Kihn has and continues to have a very successful career in different forms of the arts. My question is, do you consciously shift gears and/or do your inspirations take you in a different direction when you're doing all this?
It does. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't, right? And sometimes I get up in the morning, like here would be a good example, fire up the old computer, and I start thinking, hey, I think I'll work on the novel for a couple hours this morning. Or like yesterday, I got up, and the first thing, there was a song in my head, and I got to write the song before it drives me insane. So a lot of the creative muse hits you in places that you're not prepared to do it, and you just got to get in the flow and go with it. Sometimes you really feel like writing that song and getting that thing down. Other days, I feel like write something a little longer, and I work on a novel or something like that. But as the years go by, and my practical experiences, if you're going to do something, just do it. You know what I mean? It's easier to just break down and do the thing. Like writing a song, for instance, can be, it can be real easy and breezy, or it can be pulling teeth. Depends on your mood and how receptive you are to the song idea. Over the years, I've been very receptive to all the song ideas, and I think that's part of why the Greg Kihn Band has persevered over the years, because every year, every 2 years, or every 3 years or whatever, I just keep writing songs. And you saw what happened when I wasn't doing anything for about 18 years. Nothing happened. I didn't make any albums or anything like that. But then, when things get going, and they really are going really great right now, I'm doing everything at the same time. I feel like a juggler. Hey, I'm juggling this thing and juggling that thing. And in fact, I'm waiting to hear from the studio guys if we're going to go in there later today, because if we are, I'm getting a new song together.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, my friend.
Oh, it sounds it, man. And, to have the ability to do something like that is just, I give you a lot of credit, man. And you're right. If you're going to do something, just do it.
Yeah.
Go after it.
The more you talk about about it, the harder it is to do it. I felt like, when I first started writing, people would come up to me and they go, man, you'll never have a hit record. It's impossible. It's 1,000,000 to 1. And lo and behold, I did it a couple times. And then I started writing novels and people said, oh, you're never going to write an album, man. It's 1,000,000 to 1. And geez, I wrote 6 of them and published all of them. So I like the odds. 1,000,000 to 1, that's not bad for me. I'll take those odds.
Well, you kind of shut them up too, so that's kind of good.
I love that kind of stuff. And the nice thing about it is now I'm kind of I'm a heritage band. We've been around for decades. I got second generation of guys in my band with my son. But I just feel like this continuity keeps going on and on. And I got 2 grandsons, and they're 5 and 3. But I still give them about 10 years, and we'll have 3 generations of Kihns in the Greg Kihn Band. So I'm really looking forward to that.
That's pretty amazing in itself. Yeah, that very proud moment right there. I'll tell you that. Life is good. It really is. And that's great. It really is. I'm very happy to hear that because it's a tough industry. And for you to last as long as you have, it speaks volumes to me.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle that I even existed this long. And of the guys that started the breakup song, the 5 guys that were in the Greg Kihn Band that recorded the breakup song, and that was 81, I believe. Of those 5 guys, only 2 are left standing. Can you believe that? Gary Phillips is dead. Dave Carpenter died. Wow. Steve Wright died. And now it's just me and the drummer, Larry Lynch. Larry always drank milk, and he never took drugs. And me, the guy that was completely bull goose loony, I'm still around. That's insane. If they'd have said, hey, he'll be the first one to go. He was the one, snorting coke and drinking beer and drinking Jack Daniels and doing all that stuff. And I'm still around. Of course, I don't do that anymore. I cleaned up my act considerably since the 80s. But nowadays, I'm on the straight and narrow, and I feel great.
And listen, man, I got to say I'm proud of you because you know what? It's tough. I went through the same thing with, the alcohol was my friend. Of course, I tried everything under the sun, but I'll tell you, I got away from it all 25, 30 years ago, and life has been grand ever since.
It's amazing when you get away from that stuff that was poisoning you. You think, this is better. I'm feeling better. You know what I mean? This is something I don't need. And, as you get older, you realize, you really, the best stuff is your stuff that you keep close to your vest, and you don't really need that other stuff. So, yeah, I think guys like us, we're kind of blessed.
Yes, I will definitely agree on that. I have to ask you a question, and I have to know this. What was it like touring with the Dead and the Stones?
Oh, it was great. The Dead were unbelievable. We played all those Dead shows were Bill Graham shows, and Bill used to really go out of his way to make it, special. I remember playing at Spartan Stadium down the road here, and Bill had this backstage set up like a Moroccan tent, like a giant Moroccan tent with cushions on the floors, and it was huge and beautiful, silk rugs and everything, and pillows on the floor. And in the middle of the floor, they had this huge hookah. I mean, this thing must have been 5 feet tall, and it was just billowing hash smoke, man. So I walk in there, and Jerry goes, hey, come on, Jerry and Mickey Hart come in, hey, Greg, come over here. So I sit down next to him, and they hand me the stem to the hash pipe, and the guy goes, here, sit down, have a couple of puffs. And I thought, hey, I'm a Berkeley boy, I can handle that kind of stuff. Boy, they kicked my ass. And after 5 minutes of sitting there, drinking, smoking that hash with them, I forgot I was in a gig. The guy to come in here and say, 10 minutes to go, Greg. And I go, 10 minutes to what? He goes, 10 minutes to the gig. You got a gig, man. And, I got to tell you, man, Greg, we walked out on that stage, and we were swacked out of our gourds.
Wow.
And the whole band was high, and we started playing. We did our hits. We did Jeopardy. We did breakup songs. No reaction. Nothing. And I said to the boys, well, let's just jam the rest of it. They don't want to hear the hits. That's it. That's fine with me. So we started jamming Johnny Be Good. We did a 20-minute version of Johnny Be Good, completely totally improv, and we got a standing ovation. So
Wow.
Go figure, man. You know, we get a standing ovation doing Chuck Berry, and we don't do anything with our songs. So I learned a pretty big lesson that day, that when you're playing with the Dead, just go out there and jam and have good fun.
Wow, what an incredible story. You are doing some touring right now, although I would love to talk more about the Dead and the Stones, but you are doing some touring right now. Nothing this way just yet, but you do have a show coming up in Buffalo, New York on July 29th.
That's right.
Do you think you'll be coming to the New England area anytime soon?
Yeah, you know, we've always done well in the New England area, so I would imagine, if you go over to our website, the GregKihn.com website, there's a tour dates, schedule there. You can click on it and see all the tour dates. And our booking agent right now, as we speak, is adding more dates. So you can go back and look at that every 2 or 3 days, and you'll see another couple more dates. I'm hoping to see a whole handful of New England dates, and I'm a big Pats fan, so we're hoping we get up into that country with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, go Pats, man. I'd love to go see you if you do come up here. Really, I would.
We do a great show, and the band is really good right now. And I'm telling you, it's the best Greg Kihn Band you'll ever see, I think.
You definitely put out some serious stuff with this new CD, I have to say, with ReKihndled. I enjoy it. I like all kinds of music, and this CD really did a lot for me. It brought back a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people say it really sounds like a Greg Kihn album. It doesn't sound like you 20 years from now, or it doesn't sound like you 20 years ago, but it still sounds like Greg Kihn. It still sounds fresh and new. So as long as people are digging it, we're going to keep bumping it out.
I dig it, man. I definitely do, and I hope it does incredible things for you. You're absolutely right. It sounds just like a Greg Kihn album would. You know what I mean? So that gives you more of a bonus.
Yeah, I think when people buying this thing, a lot of the older fans and the newer fans, they're getting a kick out of it. They're liking the music and they're liking the songs, and I think they're curious to see where it's all going. So we'll be answering that question in the coming years.
And that leads me into my last question. Great segue. We have covered a lot. You have done a lot. So much we don't have the time close to even covering, unfortunately. Other than what we did discuss, is there anything else you might pull from your magic hat for Greg Kihn in the future we might not know about yet?
Well, we have a lot of fun at our live gigs, and I changed the set list, and this drives the band crazy. I change it every night so that, you go on Monday night, you might see one set list. If you go on Thursday night, you might see a completely different list. So I have a lot of fun juggling the songs around, and, we're always capable of pulling out something from our archives. Like when I'm doing a song, I could pull out something from our first album from what was that, 1975, or something from the middle period where we had the hits with Jeopardy and the breakup song. Of course, I'm always up for stuff like Weird Al. When Weird Al did the Jeopardy video, that was wonderful. That was like I had a whole second hit. I had mailbox money coming in I didn't even know about. So yeah, I think there's always something cool lurking in the background with the Greg Kihn Band, and all you got to do is just check it out and drop in and see us live, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Greg Kihn from the Greg Kihn Band. We've done a great job on time-wise.
Yeah.
I want to take the time right now to say thank you for your time, because I know you're very busy. Just by everything I've read, you're extremely busy.
Oh, yeah.
I wish you the best. I wish the Greg Kihn Band the best. I wish ReKihndled the best. You're doing great, man, and I love what you put out with this CD, and I hope everything goes well for you in the very near future and all of that good stuff.
Well, thanks a ton, and as I started out by saying, all Gregs are brothers, and coming from another Greg, that was truly nice, and I really appreciate it. Thanks a ton, my friend.
Well, my pleasure. Anytime, and I'll be looking for you to come up to New England and check out GregKihn.com, people.
Yep, you get all the stuff there.
All right, cool. Good luck with it all, and, stay true like you've been, because it sounds like you're loving life and enjoying it.
This was a lot of fun, and let's do it again maybe when we do the next album. What do you say?
It sounds like a plan, man. I'm definitely up for it.
All right. Hey, thanks, Greg, and thanks for a great interview.
Hey, anytime, and thank you as well.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Greg Kihn from the Greg Kihn Band. Check out his new CD. It is called ReKihndled. You won't be disappointed. Go to his website, gregkihn.com, for any latest updates regarding the CD, music, his tour. Check the dates out. Get out and see him. That's going to wrap it up for this one. I am Greg, a.k.a. Crazy G, for NECR New England Concert Reviews, and I'll be back yet again. See ya. Peace.